In this video, we're going to be using the Evolve template to build a SaaS website. Now, basically, I'm going to walk you through customizing every single part of this template. We're going to go through changing the colors, the typography, the logo, the branding, and just specific things about this template. However, if you're a complete beginner and, for example, you don't know how to edit text, you don't know how to change images, then I would recommend watching my Framework Basics tutorial that I will leave a link to in the description. So first things first, we're going to be customizing the colors. And the easiest way to customize the colors is through the Assets tab right here. And right here under Styles, we have a folder called Color. And here we have all of the colors used on this template. So if, for example, we want to go from this green theme to something blue, what we would do is simply select the green hue colors, and we're going to slide them over to a bluish hue. So something like this. And just by doing that, you can see already things are starting to change. I'm going to do that with a dark border color. This is a bit too purplish, so something like that I think is nicer. Probably even more. So this hue I think is good. And this I think is fine. And then we could also probably make this slightly lighter because it's a different color. And for the text, I'm going to leave it as is, and the white color as well. But just by doing that, if we scroll down the template, you will see that a lot of the elements are already in this new blue color. Now, exceptions are the images, because they're simply images. We cannot change their colors without changing the image itself. And we have a few areas that could be improved. Now, for example, one thing I noticed is that this little graph here also did not change its color, and this is because it is actually an SVG. So when you purchase the template, you're going to have access to the Figma file, and then in the Figma file you can change the color of this illustration as well, and then you would simply import it and replace it right here. Also, this probably I would make it white, because this blue color is not very visible on this background, so I think this is nicer. But yeah, this is how you change the colors. How you change the typography is very similar. You simply go to styles, go to the text styles, then let's say we don't want to use pop-ins, but we want to use enter. I can simply pick enter, and then this change will be reflected everywhere on the template. Same thing with heading 2. I can simply select enter, and just like that, the font is changed. Same with heading 3. So yeah, just like that, our fonts are changed. Now, some components might not update immediately. This happened with this box. Basically, I changed the typography from the text styles, but it didn't update. This is because it's a component, and if this happens to you, you simply have to double click it, and then when you go back, the font will be updated. So that's how you customize the fonts. Next up, what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to change the logo and the branding in the header and in the footer. So to do that, we need to go to Assets, and then here we have this template file. If you open this, this is actually the page template. So this is the default setup for every single page you have in your website. And this template includes basically the header and the footer, so you don't have to add them manually on every page. Now we're going to start with the header with the navigation. I'm going to switch to light mode so we can see what's happening. So view, appearance, day mode right here. And what we're going to do is very simple. We just want to replace this logo. So I'm going to double click it, and then we're going to click choose image, and we're going to pick our actual logo. So let's say that this is our logo. So once you add it, it might be weirdly sized. In this case, it's not that bad. But if you want to make adjustments to the sizing, what you have to do is go to the right side, unlock the width and height properties. And from here, you can simply resize the logo however you want it to look like. Once you're happy with it, just don't forget to lock it back in so it doesn't change the aspect ratio. And then for the navigation, if you want to remove a certain link, you can simply select it and delete it. If you want to add a new link, you can select one of the links and click Command or Control D to duplicate it. And then right here on the right side, you can change the link for this link. You can change the name, so I can just write something and it will immediately reflect. You can either open it in a new tab or not. And then you can also change the color. So we have the regular color, and also we have the accent color, which is the color that appears once you hover over it. And that's how you customize the navigation. For the footer, what we'll have to do is because we have an image here with green color on top. It doesn't look as seamless, so you might want to do some changes in Figma and then import the new image right here. You can change the hue there and then import it, and it will look super clean. But other than that, what you can change is pretty much the links here on the bottom. So again, if you want to remove a link, simply select it and click delete. If you want to add one, duplicate this, and then you can change everything right here. Then for this big logo at the bottom, I'm going to pick a new logo and I'm going to show you how to make sure that it looks good on our own logo. So let's say that this is the logo we want to use. Again, simply unlock the width and height properties, size it so it looks nice, and then lock it back in. And just like that, our new bottom logo is added. So these are pretty much all of the changes we can do in the header and footer. So it's pretty simple to manage. And yeah, so if you're facing any difficulties with this, you can always get in touch with us. But now we're going to be moving on to some of the other sections. For example, the client logos is a section that we're going to edit as well. So this is a component section. The reason why it's a component section is because it appears on a lot of other pages, and we don't want to have to, for example, if we want to add a new logo here, we don't want to have to manually add it everywhere on every page this section appears in. Instead, when it's a component, we can simply double click it. We can make any changes here. For example, let's say we want to remove this logo, we can delete it and we can go back, and the change will be immediately reflected here and also on all other pages that use this section. So this is why components are useful in this case. There are other use cases that we'll explore in just a little, but now I'm going to show you how to add a logo here. So I would recommend adding either PNG or SVG logos. SVG logos are preferred because they're vector and they won't be blurry, but I'm just going to drag in an example logo so we can see how it works. Okay, so I just inserted an SVG of the same logo we have on our header. I'm just going to resize it holding down Shift so we don't break the aspect ratio. But now one issue, if you add in an SVG logo, you won't be able to immediately connect it to the ticker, which is this infinitely spinning component that creates this effect. Instead, what we have to do is we have to select the SVG logo, right click and simply click add frame. And then once we have a frame above it, we can now connect it to the ticker, and our logo is right here. And just so you see that this actually gets applied everywhere, if you check the about page, our new logo will be right there as well. So this is for the client logos. Now next up, this graphic, again, this is just a placeholder. In the Figma file, you're going to have an editable version of this dashboard. If you can use it, then you can simply, export it, replace it, and then you can use it. Or you can insert your own dashboard here, and I'm just going to show you how to make sure that it fits into this frame. So I'm going to pick something random and we're going to see how we can make it work. Okay, so I just inserted a new dashboard, but you can see it gets cut off because the sizing is all messed up. So how do we actually fix that? We have a few options. Well, the first thing that we need to do is we need to unlock the width and height property. So I'm going to set the width to 90% because I want more visible. Even 94 I think would be good, or we could even set it to fill. Yeah, if we set it to fill, it's nicer. And now all I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust the height until I'm happy with it. I think something like this is good. Once we're happy with it, we can lock it back in, and this will keep the aspect ratio on tablet and mobile breakpoints as well. Now, if you want to have a bit more spacing on the left and right, you can simply set this to relative and set it to 80% like it was before, and it will look in this way. But because this dashboard is wider, I wanted to take all of the horizontal space it has, and I think this looks way better. For the background image, you can simply replace it with anything you would like. Moving on, editing these boxes right here, these cards, is pretty simple. So this template is mostly based on components. So wherever we have any elements like this, usually you can click them, and on the right side we have this property right here, benefit box component, and here you can change the icon, you can change the title and the description. So for icons, you can actually go to Google Material Icons, and there you can explore all of the icons you can use. And for example, if I want to use a house icon, I can simply type in house and a house will pop up right there. For the title, you can just edit this. For the description, it's same thing, just edit it and it will reflect immediately. So this is how you edit this benefits box. Same thing here for these check marks. You can select simply the check mark and then you can change the color, change the text color as well. We also have a variant with an X. For example, this is useful in the pricing section, but for here I'm going to leave it as the check. Now for the buttons, so the buttons are again simple to manage. Just click on them once. We have two variants, dark, light, and soft border. I'm going to keep this in the dark variant. We can change the text right here and the link right there. You can choose for it to open a new tab or not. Same thing with the dark button. Now if you want to change the styling of the button, that can be slightly difficult, but again, you simply double click the button. Then from here you can change the padding, you can select the font, you can change the font, you can also change the background color, you can edit the hover effect. For example, if you want the hover color to be something else, you can do that. So this is how you change the styling of the buttons. Moving on, we have this element, which again you simply select it. You can pick an icon. This time this is using phosphor icons, so this is a different icon library, but you can find it again on Google. Just type in phosphor icons, and here, for example, I could use a lightning icon and it will immediately show up, and then you can change the text right there. Moving on, this is again same exact concept. It's using phosphor icons. This just change the image, pretty simple. For the testimonials, they functioning in the same exact way. You click on them once, and on the right side you can add in a logo, preferably a PNG logo that's dark and not a white logo because it won't be visible. Then you can add in your text here, the person name, the position, and the person image, and all of this will be immediately reflected. If, for example, you don't have many testimonials, let's say you have only two, you can delete the bottom two, or if you have more, you can simply duplicate one of the testimonials and edit the content right there, and you can have as many testimonials as you wish. But if you're just starting out and you don't yet have any testimonials, you can simply hide the section by going to the layers menu, selecting the testimonial section, and simply clicking visible no, and this will completely remove it. So you can do this on all sections if you don't need them. This is how you can hide them. Now for the pricing section is again a bit trickier to edit. So to edit it, this is again a component. We have to double click it. Then from here you can go in, change the title, change the icon. Again, this is using Google Material icons. You can change the pricing, but we also have two different variants. We have the monthly variant and the yearly variant. This is just a common pricing strategy, but if, for example, you have a monthly plan and a 3-month plan, you can just change the copy and this will work. So let's just do that. This can be called 3 months, and I will just change the name, and it works as simple as that. So yeah, you can change the pricing for the 3-month plan, and you can pretty much do anything you'd like here. If you don't like this most popular icon, you can simply hide it and you will be good to go. So going back home, we are pretty much ready with the home page. This is how you can, this is how you can edit the home page. For the about page, we don't have anything much different. This process section is edited in the same way. On the right side, you have the icon name, the title, the text, and the padding. I don't recommend playing too much around with the padding, but if you want to do it, you can do it. So yeah, under that we have the team section. The team section is managed through the CMS. So we have the team members right here. You can edit them by clicking on them. You can delete the team member by deleting them, and you can add a new team member by clicking new item and filling out these fields, and this will automatically add them right here. And just as you saw, I removed one of the team members. Now we have only 2, and this is automatically reflected. In this case, if you have only 2 team members, I would just select the grid to have 2 columns so it looks more proportional. But with that out of the way, this is pretty much how you manage the team section. Next up, we have the careers, which is also a CMS item. So if you go to CMS, you have the careers collection right here. Again, same thing, you can edit them in the same exact way. You can add a new item. Let's say we have found our account executive and we don't need it anymore. We can simply delete this position. We can go back and it disappears from our open positions. The FAQ is pretty simple to edit. You simply select one of the questions and you edit the content right here on the right side. This is for the about page. For the changelog, this is also a CMS item. So we can go to CMS, we have changelog right here. We have all of our versions. I'm going to delete version 3 so you can see that immediately gets removed. And I'm going to change the name here to something else. And if we save this and go back, you will see this is immediately reflected in our changelog. For the contact page, all you have to do to connect this form is go to layers, make sure you have selected the form layer. Then from send to, you can simply add in your email here, or you can connect a Google Sheet or a webhook to collect responses, and you will receive the responses to whatever you have selected. You can also add a redirect. For example, if you create a thank you page, you can select on submission for this form to redirect to the thank you page. So that's how you do that. If you want to add more fields, it does get a little tricky, but it's not very complicated. You can simply copy the column that holds both of these fields. You can select it and click Command or Control D to duplicate it. And let's say you need only one field, then you can select the subject field here, for example, and you will have only one field. You can change the text right here. You can change the field type. You can select the input, and the type, we can set it just to a text, and we can call this subject and placeholder. Enter your subject right here, and you can choose if it's required or not. And if it's not required, you would obviously delete this asterisk right here next to the headline. So that's how you manage the contact page. Then we have the blog. Blog is again managed through the CMS. You can just add in blogs right here. You can format them with different headings. You can add quotes. For example, this could be a quote block. And if you go in, you can also even add images by clicking here, or adding a video by clicking here. And if we now go back and we actually open the blog page, we will see that we have a quote right here and a video that we just added. Now for the coming soon page, customizing this can be tricky again, because we do have a custom image, but if you go to the Figma file, and I'm actually going to show you how to do that now, you can simply change this color, insert this image, and it's gonna look pretty amazing. So I'm just going to go to Figma and do that. Okay, so this is the Figma file, and to edit it, we actually need to duplicate it. So all you have to do, click this arrow and click duplicate, and then you will have editing rights, and we will be able to make these adjustments. So I'm just going to wait for it to load up. I'm going to zoom into the coming soon page. I'm going to select this image, and then all we have to do is change the color on these gradients. So I'm going to go back to Framework. I'm going to grab our color style that we created. So it's this dark color. I'm going to copy the value. I'm going to paste it right here, and also I'm going to paste it right there. And now I'm just going to simply export this image and import it in place of the current one. Okay, so now I'm going to go to layers, select the coming soon page image. I'm going to select the fill color, and I'm going to insert our new image. And just like that, our image is replaced, and now this is looking super clean, exactly how it's supposed to look. Now for the other pages, we have a 404 page. The process here is exactly the same. In fact, you can simply copy this image that from the coming soon page, go to 404, and then simply paste it right here, and this will look great. Now we also have some legal pages with some privacy policy and terms and conditions. Now these are complete placeholders. These are just placeholders from Google. I don't recommend using them. I recommend using legit privacy policies and terms and conditions, obviously. But how to edit them, again, you go to the CMS, you can click on them, and then just edit all of the content right here, and you will be good to go. So I think this pretty much concludes everything from this tutorial. I hope this was useful to you guys. If you're facing any difficulties when customizing this template or any other of our templates, you can get in touch with us via email or via our website's chat support. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.